You're listening to the Virtually Reimagined podcast. This is where we're creating success leading from anywhere. If you're ready to learn how to build connection, confidence, and success in this digital space, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started. So today's topic for episode 5 is Zoom's 5 golden AI gems. Kind of reminds me, it's December right now as we're recording this, and so we're getting ready for the holidays. And as I was thinking about the topic, because AI is just woven into Zoom right now. I mean, it's been their focus as a company to use AI features and get them completely woven into the application. And so as I was thinking of them, like, I've got my top 5 that I've got to make sure you know about. And the song where there's a partridge in a pear tree. Does anybody know it? And you get to 5 golden rings. So I was thinking 5 golden AI gems. So does that make sense? And there are 5 of them. And why are they golden? Because the gold of using Zoom in 2026 is that it is not the Zoom of 2020. The Zoom that we all got to know about when the world shut down abruptly, and we were forced really quite rapidly into just learning on the fly and figuring this application out. Not everybody was on Zoom, but many of us were. And we all got to know Zoom through that experience. Actually, it changed my business. My business went completely virtual, and it stayed that way. And it has been that way. As I tell people, I have been on Zoom every day for the past almost 6 years so that you don't have to. I am on every day. I test it, research it, figure it out, see what's new, what are the updates. My background is technology, and I've always loved testing out applications. So this has been a gift. I've been gifted this application that I get to test it every day. And the fact that AI is now woven into this application means that it does all of this other stuff. And the first one, so I'm going to give you the 5 of them, starting with this one. Number 1 is that you can ask in-meeting questions using what's called AI Companion. So now I'm talking to you as if you are the participant in the Zoom meeting. So you've just attended someone's meeting, or you're in it now and you've got this podcast on listening, and you notice that there is this diamond icon, and it probably is either flashing at the top of the screen, or it's also in your toolbar at the bottom. So the toolbar I talk about is the bar that has your audio button and the video button so that you can mute yourself or unmute yourself or go on video and go off video, meaning turn your camera on, turn your camera off. That whole toolbar, along with the participants button and the chat button. And if by the way, if I'm talking about Zoom features that you don't know about, and if you are just listening in right now, come visit us over on YouTube where you can watch this episode. And if you're watching this episode, hello, when you're done here, go over and look in our channel. There is a video called The Beginner's Guide to Using Zoom. And we will put the link to that video in this description so that you know exactly where to go, because it is probably the best 52 minutes, I guess, of video tutorial that I have done in the past 6 months on how to use the basics of Zoom. So go ahead and take a look at that. That'll get you up to speed as far as, what are we talking about here? All these buttons in the toolbar. And yes, the AI Companion feature is built in. And so now I want you to tell me in the comments if you have been in someone else's meeting and the icon is not there. It's possible because maybe that person, that host, the person who hosted that Zoom, they didn't know to turn it on. They don't even know that it's available. It could also be that they have a free Zoom account, and maybe you were in their Zoom meeting that lasted 40 minutes or less. So when you have a free Zoom account, you can host up to 100 people. It's just that your Zoom meeting will last only 40 minutes, and you don't get all the bells and whistles of what I'm talking about today. So this is particularly for people who pay for their Zoom, really a minimum of $160 a year. So if you pay all in advance, you're looking at maybe $13 a month to get this business communication tool that has AI woven into it, as well as recording capability and engaging capability like polls and quizzes and surveys and breakout rooms. So yeah, I'm a fan. You can definitely use this application to grow your business performance, hands down. And so we're back to our scenario. You're a participant in someone else's Zoom, and you see this diamond at the bottom of the screen, and you click it, and that opens up this side panel on your screen where there are 4 main buttons, and it allows you to ask questions. Like maybe you got a phone call that lasted 5 minutes and you missed 5 minutes of the presentation, a part that you were hoping to see, or you know that you've come back in and now there's a discussion. You're like, oh, what did I miss? And so all you do is click the button that says, catch me up. And the AI companion will catch you up. It actually has been listening the whole time to those who are speaking. That could be the host, it could be the presenter, it could be the co-host, it could be whoever is in charge of the presentation. It could be someone asking a question from the audience. And all of this happens inside a Zoom meeting, not a webinar. It's a little different when it's a webinar. And that means like you can't see all the other people that are there. You can only see the presenter. That's a webinar, a Zoom webinar. But a Zoom meeting is where you can see everybody who's there. Even if they have the camera off, you either see their name or their picture. So that's what we're talking about. So yes, woven in are these ability to ask questions, because Zoom is running a transcript. It's generate a transcript the whole time the meeting is taking place. And then from that transcript, it can see what was said at what time. And it gives you a timestamp, and you could go back afterwards. So these are all delicious assets that you have from your Zoom meetings now. Your transcript, you can take your video if you're recording the Zoom meeting, and you can provide for people when something was said at exactly what timestamp. Yeah. And so this is all using the AI companion. And then in this case, my first golden gem are the in-meeting questions. So that leads us to number 2. The second golden gem on my list are the meeting summaries. And so using that same AI companion and the transcript that's being generated, Zoom composes a meeting summary for you. So it gives you a synopsis of what was said. It gives you the person who said it in the meeting summary. It formulates next steps and maybe decisions that were made, maybe decisions that were not made yet, that were talked about needing to be made. You know, how many times does that Zoom meeting end? Either you click end or the person running it clicked end. And then you are sitting here and you go, what was I supposed to do? I know there was something I was supposed to follow up with. And you were trying to scribble notes as quickly as you could, handwriting them, but you couldn't keep up. Well, fortunately, the transcript was following along, and this meeting summary is provided to you afterwards. Now, if you're the host, there is a way that you can say, please provide it to me every time. And you can also say, please provide it to my participants every single time. If you are a little more protective of that information and you don't want it to get out, no problem. You can change the settings to tell Zoom, don't send it out to anyone, just send it to me. And then you have the ability to change that into another document. You can even take that and put it inside other AI applications to ask it to assess it and come up with maybe a new type of document that you wanted from it. Yeah, definitely a golden gem, that meeting summary. I actually, since it came out, which is probably for a majority of 2025, if at all of 2025. Now, when a meeting starts, as long as I start my AI companion and my transcript, and I set it so that those start automatically every time, I don't worry about taking notes. I might still take notes. I might still grab that notebook, pen, jot something down that was a real aha or a to-do, a follow-up that I need to do. But for the most part, I don't have to when I meet one-on-one with my private clients. So those of you out there know, if you've, met with me, purchased a training package and you're meeting with me over your private coaching lessons, I'm rarely writing notes because I know that the meeting summary is going to give me that synopsis of what we discussed and what we decided were going to be your next steps, your next strategies. Very, very helpful. And that leads us to number 3 of our golden gems, which is the Zoom docs. Now, the Zoom docs are located in your account. Actually, all of the things today I'm talking about are located in your Zoom account. And a doc, if you know Google Docs or if you know a Word doc, yes, it's going to be a type of item that is typed out, contains text. You can format it, has bulleted text, it has paragraphs, it has line items, numbered list, all of that. But these Zoom docs are extra special in that you can go into your account after a meeting has taken place and after a meeting summary has been generated. So one of our gems today is the meeting summaries, and you can ask Zoom to create a Zoom doc based on your meeting that took place. And so you go into the web portal. So for those of you who have been following along with my trainings, or for those of you in the membership in our Virtual Business Collective, you know that when you go into your web portal, as opposed to the Zoom Workplace app, you have a multitude of different features in the web portal. And one of them are your Zoom docs. And they're also located in the hub, the Zoom hub. And yes, all of this is there. Like I said at the beginning, Zoom is making it a priority to integrate AI into its applications. It's got to. AI is now integrated into a majority of cloud-based applications on the market. And so, Zoom is right up there with all of them, making the functionality more than just what I'm doing now. I'm actually not video conferencing. I'm on right now with one person. He's here helping me with this recording. However, if you wanted to record yourself, you can just come onto Zoom and start it and start your transcript and start talking. It's what I call recording your genius. And you take whatever's in your mind, whatever you want to say that day that is extra important, and make a video of it, a recording, by looking right into the camera, recording what the special notations are. And that transcript is listening to you the entire time because of what we've talked about already. You can take these transcripts, even the documents that you've created, and you can put them into apps that are on the market like ChatGPT and even Notebook LM, and create other assets from them. Actually, Notebook LM will even create an audio from your document with AI generated voices that don't sound like robots. And it's a way that you can repurpose the information that came out of this one Zoom meeting. And it may only have had you in it. You were not there with someone else. You're just there talking about what's important in your industry or in your content. And so that does bring us to number 4. Before I tell you what number 4 is, we just review. We've talked about the in-meeting AI questions that you can ask. We talked about the meeting summaries that are generated from the transcript. And we've talked about those Zoom docs. These are documents that can be generated from that transcript and meeting summary. And if you'd like to learn more about these AI companion features that make up not only these 5 golden gems, but there are so many more that are on the list that are woven into the workplace. This is exactly what we do inside our collective membership, the Virtual Business Collective. And I'll put a link in the description so you can try this out. Go ahead and check it out. And that brings us to number 4, which has to do with your recordings. You see, AI Companion has a feature that's called Smart Recordings. And when you turn this on and you are recording to the cloud, so little side note, okay, if you've never recorded yourself in Zoom, or if you have recorded yourself and you never even noticed, that if you have a paid account, you have the choice to record locally to the local computer. So that's whatever computer you're on right now. You're looking into a camera, you're using a microphone, whatever computer that is. When you record locally, it records it to that computer's drive, that hard drive that's built in, whether it's a Mac, a Windows. That's with both paid and free accounts that you can record locally. But if you have only a paid account, if you have a paid account, then you only have the ability to record to the cloud. And that is very beneficial. It's very efficient to record to the cloud, because when you are recording, especially a long meeting or class or a summit, you could do like an online summit with multiple speakers in here. That recording, yes, why do we call it the cloud? Because it's being recorded to Zoom's website somewhere in the world inside your password protected account. And when you end that meeting, that recording will be processed. Sometimes it takes an hour to process a very, like a 6-hour recording. And that recording will be processed off-site because it's being recorded in the cloud, as opposed to taking up space on your local computer's hard drive. See the difference? Then you can actually use some of the features that I'm talking about here, our fourth golden gem, which is smart recordings. As long as you've had that turned on prior to recording, Zoom takes the transcript that's running with AI Companion and it analyzes your entire session and it determines when you moved on to another topic. So like today, for instance, I'm talking about 5 different golden gems that are AI related, and my transcript is listening. And so it's going to automatically give me a chapter for each one, because it sees that I'm actually moving on to the next topic. Smart recordings is what this is called, also has the ability to be a coach. You can get tips on how much you pause, at what frequency do you pause, and how fast do you talk. So it analyzes your public speaking, and you can use it that way. You can even see if you use filler words, which actually is something I have to work on. When I look at my smart recordings coach and my tips, I can see that I use filler words. You see, right now I'm concentrating on not using them. And so I'm saying each phrase with a slight pause in between. And when you're speaking, that has so much more impact. Tell me in the comments, if you're listening to this part of the podcast, what do you hear? Do you hear a difference? Well, the smart recordings will not only give you smart chapters and highlights, but it will give you this coaching feedback. And all of these things you just turn on. You don't have to have all of them. You can have some of them. It's all up to you. And that brings me to the 5th golden AI gem. This is a biggie, It's probably one of the best kept secrets of 2025, because when I teach it, people are amazed that this was actually part of the Zoom workplace application. And this 5th one is called the AI voice recorder. And this one's going to involve your mobile device. And so what you do is you need to install the Zoom Workplace app on your cell phone. And once you've turned on the settings for the AI Companion and voice recorder, you will see this feature on your phone. And oh, by the way, if you need a guideline for using these settings, definitely grab a copy of my Zoom Mastery Checklist. It'll walk you through all the different settings and why you need them. And you'll find a link to that in the description here. We'll put that there for you. So once you have all these settings set for the AI voice recorder, you look at your phone, and in the app there is a button to record your voice. And this is now allowing you to use Zoom in an in-person setting, not just virtually. So the Virtually Reimagined podcast has totally reimagined conversations, bringing you Zoom to your in-person meetings. And many people have told me this is a lifesaver because, of course, with the consent of the person in the room, you're not doing this secretively. Everyone knows that they're meeting publicly and they're like, oh my gosh, is anybody taking notes here? And you pick up your phone and you say, I've got the note taker on my phone. And you open up the Zoom app, you hit that voice recorder and you let it run. And it will run a transcript and it'll pick up what's being said. And then when you're done, that transcript automatically goes to your cloud. So yes, this is for paid users of Zoom. And I'm going to tell you hands down, if you're not with me at this point, this is where you get the most value out of that. Like we said, about $13 a month if you're paying for your year of Zoom for your pro. That's the first level, the paid version of Zoom. And this AI recorder, if you go online and look for AI recorders, actual gadgets that you can buy, they're upwards of $200 or $300. So right there, this one feature pays for itself. And you record your voice, you look in the cloud, the audio is there. So you can repurpose that if you want to, but then you can grab the transcript and do the same thing I mentioned earlier, run that through other AI apps, or go into your Zoom hub or create a Zoom doc from that audio, and it will create summaries for you, next steps for you. And you just take that document and disperse it and share it to the people who are present. I've even had people tell me that they are using this feature to keep track during the day of their to-dos. So like, for instance, right now, just getting ready for this recording, Kyle and I were talking about what to record. He's my video editor, and he and I were discussing the different topics and maybe things we're going to do for next week. We're going to bring you an episode on the YouTube channel, on the Zoom Playground, and we're going to create episode 6. And in planning that, well, I, of course, reached for a notepad. I'm like, oh, I can't forget that. I got to remember to do that to do. Well, if you have moments like this through the day, just open up your voice recorder on your phone in your Zoom Workplace app. Start talking to it and saying, this is a note for mention the date. These are the to-dos, and have a meeting with yourself. And then that transcript will be generated because you're using AI Companion turned on. It is fabulous. And so that rounds out our 5 golden AI gems. Thanks for tuning in to the Virtually Reimagined podcast. I hope today's episode gave you a spark of inspiration for your own virtual business journey. And if you loved what you heard, make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and share it with a friend who's building their own dream online. Until next time, keep creating success, leading from anywhere.